This video is sponsored by Bombas. Hi everyone, Thao here. I think we can all agree, Samsung makes some awesome looking screens. A lot of people buy Galaxy Tabs for the screens. Well, they obviously understand that because the Tab S8 Ultra is their biggest tablet offering yet. This thing has a massive 14.6-inch display that I've honestly spent way too much time watching stuff on. It's so awesome, it's like having a little TV. If you've always wanted a large screen tablet, there's a lot to like here. The wide aspect ratio frames content beautifully, bezels have been slimmed down for that extra immersion, and as always, the AMOLED screen gets you those inky blacks, great for consuming content at night. The quad speakers on here definitely get louder than the Tab S8 Plus, but I will say, I find the speakers on the 12.9-inch M1 iPad Pro to be slightly more pleasing to listen to. But then there's the notch. Look, I understand why they had to do it, to fit these dual front-facing cameras, but I'm just gonna say it, I'm not a fan. It's fine most of the time, but it's super distracting when watching content. The good news, Samsung has some software built in to hide the notch by covering it with a black bar, so no big deal I guess. The main reason to look past that notch is because of how good that extra ultra wide camera will make your video chats look. It can shoot up to 4K video, which is super rare for a tablet, and has an auto framing feature that comes in real handy if you move around a lot in a presentation, like the one I'm about to do for you guys for today's video sponsor, Bombas. Bombas socks are some of the most comfortable socks I've ever worn. Cliche, but it's literally like walking on a cloud. They have a wide range of styles to choose from, so you'll find socks for everyone in the family, just like I did. I even scooped up some for the little one on the way. Even better is the fact that they're a brand that gives back thanks to their one purchase equals one donated philosophy. Bombas has donated more than 50 million essential clothing items designed for those in need. Plus, every item they sell comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. If they're lost, worn, torn, or even outgrown, Bombas' customer happiness team will make it right by replacing your favorite socks, free of charge. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first purchase using the code BOMBAS20. Because of its size, this is a tablet you definitely want to use mounted in some sort of stand or at a table. Throughout the time I've owned this, I don't think I've used it handheld for longer than a couple minutes. It's just way too heavy to be holding for long durations. The traditional idea behind a tablet is to use it, handheld on the go, but this kind of goes against that. Honestly, I pretty much use it two different ways. At the desk during the day or watching Netflix in bed at night. Samsung is still including the S Pen in the box, which is nice. I personally do a lot of journaling on my tablets, and the writing experience with the larger surface area and improved latency is awesome. A real benefit of the size is that you can split screen with a second app like the web browser and still feel like you have plenty of room to write comfortably. One of my favorite ways to use this massive screen has been as a second display for my actual computer. It works with any Windows PC. I use a third-party app called Super Display, but you can just go with Samsung's wireless second screen option if you have good Wi-Fi. This would also pair really nice with a laptop for a relatively portable dual screen setup. But yeah, if you're on Windows, this could be a great way to get more use out of the tablet. Besides the screen, one other thing Galaxy Tabs are known for is the multitasking capabilities. I just love how flexible it is. Now, are most people going to run 5 or 6 apps stacked on top of each other? Probably not, but we all have different needs when it comes to getting our work done. Having that option is great. That extra freedom and open approach is even more awesome on a large display like this. It feels like with every update, they add more and more multitasking options. For example, you can enable this little handle that lets you jump between a split screen or a pop-up window. The multitasking experience here is seriously next level. Performance while multitasking is also super snappy. I can tell Samsung put extra effort into that over the years. So if your workflow requires you to have a ton of apps open at the same time, yeah, I think you're gonna really appreciate the larger screen here. While Samsung and Google have done a great job, the biggest knock on Android tablets is that apps aren't optimized for the big screen, and that's even more obvious on a 14.6-inch display. You can't really blame Samsung though, because they're doing everything they can. If an app doesn't support landscape, Samsung built in a setting for that. If an app looks all stretched out in landscape, Samsung has a setting for that too. The issue is you need to tinker and play with the settings to get apps to work the way you want them to, and that's gonna turn off a lot of first-time Galaxy Tab owners. Just imagine, you drop over $1,000 on this. You go in to open your favorite app and it looks all wonky. Not a good first impression. Now, for those of us who have experience and understand the workarounds like using pop-up windows or using the web versions of apps, it's obviously not a deal breaker. But you can't blame someone for wanting a more polished app experience though, especially at this price. I was super happy to hear that LumaFusion was launching an Android app later this year, but no matter which way you slice it, Android tablets are still gonna need more support from developers. I do have faith that it's gonna get there. It's just gonna take some time. Samsung DeX has always felt a little underappreciated on Galaxy phones, but I seriously think it's found the perfect home on their Galaxy Tabs. What better fit for the desktop-like mode than on a device like this that's essentially tied to your desk due to its size? DeX is by far the Galaxy Tab's most valuable feature and what sets it apart from something like an iPad. Pair this thing with Samsung's equally expensive keyboard cover and you've got a makeshift Android-powered laptop. You can even take it a step further and plug in an external monitor, and now you've got yourself a desktop computer, all powered by the tablet. For day-to-day tasks, this is more than capable. Samsung is charging $350 for this keyboard cover, and while I think it's a nice compliment to the tablet, that's a lot of money for this. But don't get me wrong, the kickstand with this flap on the back is seriously amazing. I really like that they added backlighting and improved the trackpad, but to be honest, the typing experience here isn't $350 great. There's also this weird delay whenever the keyboard goes to sleep. I'll type and the words will show up like after a second or so. Doesn't happen all the time, but it throws me off when it does. Bottom line, wait for a sale or some sort of bundle deal from Samsung, because for $350, you can get a really nice mouse, keyboard, tablet stand, and still have some money left over. A good keyboard plus mouse can also be used with other devices too, and you can keep using them when you do upgrade to your next tablet. This, not so much. Oh, and if you are pairing a mouse with this, make sure to enable corner actions in the accessibility settings. I love this feature and have been using it ever since I discovered it. You can basically customize what happens when you move the mouse pointer to each of the 4 corners. So, for example, I have it so the top left pulls down the notification shade, the top right takes a screenshot, the bottom left opens the recents menu, and the bottom right takes me to the home screen. It's a neat little trick that can really improve productivity. Battery life has been surprisingly good for me. I went into this expecting the massive display to absolutely demolish the battery, but it hasn't. Battery life isn't something I've really had to think much about. I've easily gone through a full 8-hour work session, and since it essentially lives on my desk, I'm not too worried. It takes 90 minutes to fully charge from 0 to 100, which is 10 minutes more than the Tab S8 Plus with its smaller battery. What's cool is you can also plug in your phone or earbuds and the tablet will charge those devices up. So it kind of works like a massive power bank too. Alright, to summarize, the Ultra shares a lot of the same specs as the Tab S8 Plus. You're essentially paying extra for the larger screen and a better webcam. If you don't really need those two things, the S8 Plus still has a killer screen and will be much easier to carry around with you for tablet use. The Ultra doesn't feel like a traditional tablet. At this size, it's trying really hard to be a 2-in-1 laptop replacement. For some of you, it might be that, but most people will probably still be more efficient on an actual laptop. To be honest, I really like this tablet. If you can work around the app issues, this thing is so badass. For me, this is more of a luxury product. The screen size with how thin it is just gives it that wow factor. Galaxy Tabs have a lot going for them, like the tight integration with Galaxy phones, the growing partnerships with Google plus Microsoft, and next level, multitasking. But you're 100% buying this for the screen. This is for someone who wants the biggest, best looking tablet display on the market, so they can consume their content like a boss. This screen lives up to that hype. Watching stuff on this thing is seriously amazing. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'm out of here.